Refuting the accusation. We were the only two people up on that roof deck. Dead or alive, I can swear to that. If anything had happened while we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed? In any case, neither of us knew the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't have possibly opened it. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? I must say that, on listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine how either the witness could have performed any malevolent act on this open rooftop deck without the other noticing forthwith. That's right, you see. Well, innocent, I tell you. Although logically, of course, the argument falls down if the two of you were in collusion with one another. What? Huh? According to the investigations by the Scotland Yard, the two witnesses shared no common dealings. Ha! Well, I don't trust coppers any more than I trust the stinking rich. Something doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really. So why do I feel so uneasy? Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. Refuting the accusation. We were the only two people up on that roof deck, dead or alive. I can swear to that. So at no time did the victim, Mr. Mason, climb up to join you on the roof deck? Absolutely not. Dig in. No question about it, he said. None at all. Okay. Oh, but yes, of course. I remember seeing them both. I saw the victim inside the closed cabin, talking with this man here. This is true, Mr. McGilded. Dear me, my lord. Dear me, my lord. At the risk of repeating myself, I boarded the omnibus alone and nodded off inside almost immediately. That's an outright lie. Without doubt, you were engaged in... Let me stop you there, fella, and ask. Do you have any evidence at all? It's all about evidence, and the court they say so it is. You do well to remember that. I saw you with my own eyes. This is going so well. If anything that happened where we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed? Well, it was on the final run of the omnibus at 10 o'clock in the evening. It certainly would have been dark. Quite dark, perhaps too dark to see clearly. Is this some kind of a lark? Is this some kind of a lark? Is this some kind of a joke, as he said? Is this what it is? Or perhaps one or the other of you fell asleep briefly? Are you fair dinkum, sir? Are you serious, sir? That's what he said. It's impossible, I tell you. I'd give you the keys to the vault if you were to fall asleep in that bitter cold. And if you did manage it, your eyelids would freeze shut and you'd never open them again. That's extreme. It was extreme, I tell you, and we had to put up with it because this man had locked the door. Any Trugent would have unlocked it and let me in when I knocked. I'm dreadfully sorry about that, young fella. But you see, I was away with the fairies and I didn't hear ye at all. That's a lie. I saw you through the glass. You were talking to someone. Now, it was a cold night it was. People do be saying things that aren't real in the cold. It's hardly surprising. Seeing things? Seeing things? I believe we have reached an impasse here on this particular point. You! Don't take it personally now, lad. If I'm a suspect in this case, then it's only fair that you and the other fiend are too. Open and free competition is what a capitalist society is all about. This isn't a competition I would like to be involved in, really. In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. So, you had never met Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason before? Oh, Lumen, no! Not once. Never. Never met the man before, he said. Never. And you, Mr. First, had no pride dealing with the victim either? That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir. No, I imagine not. You see, how many different ways I can put this? Neither of us have the remotest connection to the gentleman who went inside the cabin. Chotto. Mr. McGilded? Yes, Counsel. What can I be doing here for? Did the witness's last statement give you a pause for thought somehow? Not the remotest connection? Is that right now, I wonder? What are you insinuating now? Ah, Mr. Fairplay, that hasn't been too long, it has. Eh? If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe this fast approaching is not your repayment date. I beg your pardon? Hehe. You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir. An unconscionable rate of interest. You tricked me. It's extortion. Well, now, that's a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fellow to pass his crimes off on another. Urgh. And young Mr. First. Me, sir? What do you want with me, sir? You do be making ads for a living, do you not? That there top hat sliding about your head. Is that one of your own creations, is it? Oh, well, I'm still just an apprentice, you understand. I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door. The perfect fit, is it? Well, it is a very distinctive design, so it is. Many customers like it, I tell you. They like a distinctive touch. Customers, such as Thrice-Fired Mason. Oh. There was a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence before, my lord. Oh, this, you mean? I can't help but thinking that the poor fella's hat looks distinctly familiar, don't you say? That's one of my hats. Hehe, aye, that is. So it seemed the brickmaker was a customer of yours. The sort of customer I'd wager you could have had a wee quarrel with over the distinctiveness of the goods. Oh, no, sir. Absolutely not, sir. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that these two fellas there haven't the remotest connection to the victim, you see. I rest my case. You little weasel. He's better at this than I am. Gosh, Mr. McGillen has certainly been thorough in his research, hasn't he? Please, don't let me, little interruption, hold of the proceedings. Skylar was shut the entire time. Are you quite certain about that? That Skylar was shut the entire time? I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute. He's going to lose his rag with you in a minute. That's what he said. Take a look for yourself. Go on. See? It's shut fast now, just like it was on the night. So it is, of course. The size of the fellow of Mr. Mason could likely break right through it if still and all. What? Just looking at the size of the thing, you understand? Oh, no, you hold on a minute, sir. The size of the thing means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture here, shall we? Let's stop biting our cane, shall we? I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind. Loudly. I shocked myself with it as it happens. This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First. I just mean to say, well, the point is I tried to open the skylight, you see. But, just my luck, I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. When I went red as a rogue. Red as rouge, I did. Are you expecting me to sentence you? Oh, no, sir. The point is, the skylight can't be opened. I tried, and I tried when I was inside the cabin of the shame. When I was inside the cabin of shame. Do you have anything to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade. It opens. Hmm? The skylight. That's what you're talking about, right? All them skylights open, dead easy. More easy than you can load that weapon? That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, You can't do it from the inside, you mug. Oh. Look, a few weeks ago, I was up on the roof deck on one of them drags. And I had a great burst to come out of me ears. And then it's a straw. This is not the forum to be, eulogizing on the subject of her criminal activities. Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, it got wise to me. All four of them surrounded me, so I couldn't up off the bus and leg it. So what I did was, I used the skylight, opened the catch and jumped right through. What? Yeah, the catch from the skylight is on the top side. That's why you can't open them. You can't open them from a cabin. The skylight opens from the rooftop deck? Bailiff! Climb up onto the roof of the omnibus at once and verify this witness's claims. Oh, my hat! See? Order! 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 So, it appears that the street girl's statement is quite true. I don't believe it. The skylight opens. From the rooftop deck. Mr. Nanoho. This can be the clue we've been looking for. Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. So, the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate for myself. Let's do that. Let's take a look. So the skylight was fastened shut before, but now the catch has been undone. We should be able to open it. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin, so I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly. Okay, let's check it from the inside, I guess. Alright, so this, right? Oops. Oh, there's blood right there. Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? Why not have to kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo? Why someone like me? Ah! What is it? Look, just here! Look at this! That's, without question. It's blood. Why would there be a blood stain here? Surely, it can't be related to the case, can it? The scene of the crime, there's a blood stain visible on the frame of the skylight when it's open. Okay, so I guess that's what we can present here. Okay. On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach, and immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts, and the irrefutable proof remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom. What? That's utter humbug. Ah, you can't possibly have any evidence. No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible. Irrefutable proof, here, in this courtroom. Counsel? My lord. I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here, Where exactly within the omnibus is evidence to which you allude? He will point out what it is that proves the victim fell from the roof deck through the skylight. It's right here. Not that side, this side. There we go. Okay. What is that here? By Jupiter, is that blood? Ugh. This blood stain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. What? And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening. Oh my! And so it follows that Mr. McGilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime. No! Order! 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 But the blood could have sprayed up there when the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin. And only found its way to that one particular spot on the skylight. Sure, and that would be very convenient. Ugh. Let's keep it in mind that the skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But, there's no way to know for certain, is there? If the gent really fell through the skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? It's all too plain, if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fellow dropped from a far height right there, so it is. What? No. But it can't be. It's all lies. My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we? I believe we can, yes, sir. It's clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So, they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they? I won't tolerate any of the guilty carriages being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it. Oh, I always knew that a nice gentleman who gave us that delightful park couldn't have done such a thing. On three, then. Everyone. 1, 2, 3. Chilling performance, Mr. McGilded. Oh? And what would ye be referring to there now, Lord Van Zieks? A blood stain on the frame of the skylight? Such evidence is null and void. What? Why? For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed. What are you talking about? It's there for all to see and it's clearly blood. I personally attended Scotland Yard investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb. So I can state with absolute surety no such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least, not until this trial began. But, are you suggesting, Lord Van Zieks, that the stain of blood was fabricated, my lord? Yes. And while this court has been in session. What? What a palaver. I must say I didn't expect such a crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Zieks. It was when the smoke bomb happened, right? That's why the whole carriage got changed. So there was a reason for that. But I'm Magnus McGilded, a fellow known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander. I'll fight it to the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the reaper of the reaper of the Bailey. Mr. McGilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I'm well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts. Adapt the facts? What does that even mean? When you wield a fortune of the size of Mr. McGilded, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast to your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir. Tut tut, Lord Van Zieks. This will not do, to be sure. Will it now, Counsel? Oh, no. I think it's fair to say, this does all sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say? But if yous all will cast your minds back. Is it not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a smear of blood in it without the world and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, Counsel? It's true. The omnibus hasn't been in full view the entire time the court has been in session. I learned, friend. Here's to hearing your opinion on the matter. In your own words. As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during this trial? Heck! Yeah! If you ask me, I think. Dude, then it must have been Mr. McGilded, right? As defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defense as best I can. But still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. Telling the truth. There's no evidence to suggest that the defendant did, as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility. Ah! Good gracious! Explain yourself, Counsel. Dang, this is getting crazy. Yes, there is. It seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention of running from this deceit. Deceit? I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly. The recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. Bang. What is going on? Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face. Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. I have a call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom. The courtroom was filled with smoke and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and in all the chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. Are you wise? What are you trying to pull, you rotten feckless gouger? Feckless gouger? You're supposed to be defending me. 'Tis a wicked plot. 'Tis a plot to undermine me, so it is. Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. Inconsistencies such as, to start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, this was not present at the start of the trial this morning. Unfortunately, Lord Van Zieks, no one is able to corroborate your claims. It's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, the storage compartment and the skylight were shut. Accordingly, I'm afraid to say, we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not. Indeed, my lord, no doubt there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things. What do you think? Sorry? About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? Yes. Literally the blood on the floor. My lord. Yes, counsel? There's one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial. What? What in the devil's name are you going to say now? If you dare to betray me, you little maggot? Silence, McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification. The trial keeps swinging one way and then another. I have no idea what's the truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here? I shall have you ask you to elaborate, counsel. Or exactly is this alleged mark that you claim appeared at some point during the trial? Da-da. Oh, I keep forgetting. I need to present, not click on it. If you consider that the victim fell through the skylight on the floor in the cabin, you'll certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this blood stain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom. Good lord! Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel. Well said. Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that it was a very careless slip of the tongue. I believe that the bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But the question is whether that evidence is genuine, or whether it is unlawfully fabricated by someone. I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. This trial is over. Mr. McGilded? I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the course, but it's all over now. But you're the defendant. It's over, I tell ye. Memory. Recollection. What people think they saw. 'Tis all a nonsense. Facts are accounts, and the fact is that the blood sign is there. No! Well... And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out has it been, the good-for-nothing Reaper of the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalized, so I am. I thought better of Lord Van Zeeks. Well, my lord? Must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, this particular blood stain in question is very much in existence, and in the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence. I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue. Your lordship can't be serious. Lord Van Zeeks, what is your position? The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present. Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first. What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Miss McGilded will be found not guilty. Yes. Which would mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now? With all these unexplained inconsistencies? Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please. Yes, my lord. The defense believes. Oh man. The defendant could be guilty. I mean, it's possible, right? We see the inconsistencies. And the evidence was changed for sure. Because we know for sure that there was stuff in the hidden compartment at the bottom. I'm here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGilded. However, At this moment in time, I cannot, in all good conscience, attest fully to the defendant's innocence. What are you saying, man? Without any question, there's no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. However, there's also no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent. Good gracious me! Order! Order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. A defense lawyer calling the accused innocent into question? Are you of sound mind? Oh, 'twas a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was. A grand decision. What? I must say, I didn't expect such quite an exciting spectacle at the end there, but still. Add this for your troubles. Well, your job here is done, fella. And some fine work you've done, so yeah. What do you mean? This just the right honourable gentleman so succinctly put it before. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did you put it now? Nothing more than a formality. He's been snickering this whole time, right? I really don't know what to make of all this. What was the evidence we've been seeing genuine, or was it fake? His lordship would be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of promptly, as I said. The stinking rich are always guilty of something. You're mark my words. I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us the lovely park. Now the proceedings have unfolded in this way. I'm compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea. I thank you kindly, my lord. I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court. But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth. Lord Van Zieks. My lord. The case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place. My sincerest apologies, my lord. But, wait! When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zieks ordered the evidence to be secured. I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter. That's so unfair! The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by the court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to call for a judgment. What? Well, Lord Van Zieks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Do you mean to tell me that this has all been a grand waste of time? 'Tis the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law. Magnus McGilded. Good grief, you've more to say to me, have we? Just one more thing. A warning. This is far from over. Well, something to be looking forward to then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Dang, dude. That's crazy. So that, I mean, he must have done it, right? There's no other way around it. If, indeed the evidence that was planted there was fake. I can't believe it. This is an outrage. Please examine the evidence more. What are you talking about? The man has been cleared. He's innocent. courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day. The judge delivered his verdict. My first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end. The defendant being found not guilty, ultimately a victory for us. "18th February, 5:14 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. That certainly was a long trial. Yes, it was. Your first ever trial on foreign soil and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Mr. Seto, thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection. Aye, that you did. Mr. McGill did. Ah, and the girl is with him too. Well, it seems the stories are true. Oh, what stories? About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yes, definitely. Heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. I have you to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything. What on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of there a free man then? I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. You're a straight-talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me astray in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. Wahaha. Ah, 'tis water under the bridge. Congratulations, Mr. McGilden. Now your name cleared. Nothing's resolved. There's only one thing that matters to me. Oh? Aye. They've all seen that they didn't do that odious and obstinate deed. This is grand, is it not? I suppose it is. Now, the fine fellows of Scotland Yard can take matters in their own hand and sort out any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay. It's not that funny. So then, as we agreed aforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella. Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much. Arrah, be whist. You're humble people, are you? You from the east. Well, if you insist. But have this, still and all, you deserve a reward. Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. Into the courtroom? What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe. Hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule. Well, I must be making tracks now. It's time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. You're going to examine it again? Now? Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing my best to help where I can. It's a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. Hope you have a well of a time while you're studying London here in Great Britain. While you're studying there in Great Britain. And there he goes, a free man. Oh, I forgot she was here too. Oh my gosh. don't move. As I want to say, get a move on. It really does take forever to load that thing. Mr. Strahd, would you mind putting that thing down? You're a grown-up. Sorry? And I hate all grown-ups. Ah, there you are. Naughty, naughty. Running off like that. Is this some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now? And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ha! Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me. Ugh. Excuse me, but who are you? Oh, good day to you. I'm, the inventor, I suppose, of the machine. The inventor? Well, no more smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, white, and more white. If you had me shrouded in smoke, it could be at least a pretty color, I thought to myself. Do you have to be shrouded in smoke, though? At all? I just took my eyes off it for a moment whilst changing to a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon. A what's it? What? I have no idea what this girl is talking about. Anyway, you're coming with me now, back to my laboratory. What? What for? To apologize, of course, silly. To my technician. What? You mean say sorry? You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. An adult? Huh. I don't listen to no adults. Come along then, follow me. Fine, have it your way. Oh good. You see, I knew you'd want to do the right thing in the end. I'm fairly sure that what she wants is not to get shot by that massive gun of yours. We'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm sorry for all the fuss. I definitely don't know how to do like a cutesy voice. She was a lively one. Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way to now too? Yes, you're right. But where to? Oh, we haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner than we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All of our traveling cases are still with the bailiff. I was originally planning to spend the day in search of lodgings, but at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck. Don't worry though, I have a plan. If worse comes to worse, I have a lovely park where we can spend the night. Please tell me you're not thinking of a gilded park. I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through. I'm not so sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one. Oh, here, that doesn't sound agreeable. I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room. Or mansion. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead. Just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned, the case was far from over. Holy moly. Dude, he burned the evidence. The crazy rich guy. That's crazy. Okay, let me fix my YouTuber face. Okay, there we go. Dude, he burned the evidence. Holy moly. I can't believe it. Alright, I guess we have 2 episodes left. Dang. That was just the beginning. Oh man, I bet we're gonna see Mr. McGill again.